Good day, everybody. So, ang i-discuss natin ngayon will be the essential concepts in special education. Essential meaning very important concepts no, na kailangan malaman natin or alam natin pagdating sa special needs. Bakit kaya? No? Siyempre, alam natin na ang proper diagnosis would render proper intervention. Ngayon, kapag ka namali tayo ng label, o na mali tayo ng observation, mali tayo ng term na ginamit, so malamang sa malamang mami-misalign no, yung intervention na maibibigay doon sa bata o doon sa estudyante na hawak natin. Now, one thing that I want you to remember as we move forward with the discussion ay please do not self-diagnose. Di ba? Ay, parang ako to, ma'am. Di ba? Kasi mamaya titingnan natin yung mga symptoms nung ibang diseases, nung ibang disabilities. So, titignan natin yun. Please, huwag kayong magsi-self-diagnose or worse, i-diagnose yung kaklase nyo or yung kaibigan nyo, kapatid nyo. We are not here to label anybody no, without the help of a professional. Ang goal natin is that makita natin yung mga telltale signs and symptoms na existing para nang sa ganun, if there's a need for help, if there's a need for referral sa mga professionals, sa mga practitioners, then we'll be able to do it. Okay? So, tingnan natin yung unang slide. So, it says here, what is exceptionality? An individual with an exceptionality shows significant differences in one or more areas of functioning compared to established norms. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong mga baseline, meron tayong mga standard. Kapag 4 years old ka na, dapat nakakaganito ka na. Pag 12 years old ka, you should be able to take care of yourself, mga ganyan. Meron tayong mga milestone. Now, an individual na may exceptionality is somebody na hindi nag-check dun sa milestone na yon. It's either, ito yung milestone, below siya dun or above siya dun. So, it encompasses both individuals with disabilities, yung mga hindi nag-check dun sa mga standards na nakaset, no, by age, and those with special gifts or talents. Sila lang, hindi sila nag-check, pero nandun sila sa mas advanced, either super extreme yung mga talents nila, ganyan, super talino, mga ganon. Special needs education aims to provide tailored support to children with any of these exceptionalities, allowing them to participate as fully as possible in both educational and societal activities. Kagaya nung sinabi ko kanina, the main reason why we have to be familiar with these concepts na pag-uusapan natin in a while ay because we wanted to give proper support. Ngayon, kapag ka hindi tama yung labels that we put under conditions, no, hindi rin magiging tama yung support na ipo-provide natin, no, hindi siya magma-match. So it's very important that as you finish this subject, no, as you um, finally come to a conclusion nitong subject na to, itong mga terms and concepts na i-discuss natin ay maaalala nyong mabuti. Okay? So let's go to the first one, no? Ano ba yung mga kailangan nating malaman? Unang-una is about learning disabilities. So marami yan na it refer to challenges in acquiring knowledge and skills in a typical manner. Sadly, yung mga iba na walang background sa special needs education, they would just label somebody o yung bata na ay mahina. 'Di ba? Naririnig natin 'to eh. Ay naku, medyo I don't want to use other terms, pero alam niyo na kung ano yung mga sinasabi ko na nililabel yung bata na hindi kaya, mga gano'n. Yun pala, merong learning disability yung bata. It's a possibility no, na mangyari yun. What are the common learning disabilities that we're going to discuss? Number one is dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, auditory processing disorder, language processing disorder, and nonverbal learning disorder. So, puntahan natin isa-isa, no? Itong mga to, lahat ng learning disorders na to, importante na makita as early as possible. Kasi, definitely, no, it will intervene in the learning process ng bata. So, dapat aware tayo sa mga learning differences, learning disabilities, because the earlier intervention, the earlier diagnosis, the better. Okay? Let's go to the first one. Dyslexia. Siguro ito yung pinakasikat, no? Baka rinig nyo na to. So it's a language processing disorder that impacts reading, writing, and comprehension. Please take note na itong mga learning disabilities natin ay neurological in nature. Ibig sabihin, nasa brain's capacity, brain's functioning ito, no? So, someone with dyslexia, one thing that you have to remember, it's associated with reading. Okay, reading talaga. Reading, writing, comprehension. The early signs kapag ka nasa preschool ang bata ay nahihirapan siyang matuto ng mga new words, pronouncing yung mga words na tama, learning nursery rhymes, or playing rhyming games. Kumbaga may mga new words kang tinuturo kasi bata nga eh, 'di ba? Pero hindi niya ma-decode, no? Hindi ma-process nung brain niya. Basically, pagka nagkakaproblema siya learning letters, numbers, even colors, ganun, then it's a red flag, no, ng dyslexia sa bata. Sometimes you don't really have to wait for a school setting. Kaya papasok muna siya sa school bago malaman kung ano yung mga difficulties niya. Kasi pag sa bahay pa lang, pwede na siyang makita. Okay? So, pagka naman grade school na, these are the difficulties, no? Identifying common words upon sight. Di ba may mga sight words nung elementary, nung early, sa preschool nga may sight words na eh. Yung mga hindi nagfa-follow ng mga phonics, phonetic sounds, no? Yun, nahihirapan silang i-identify yun. Nahihirapan din sila definitely mag-spell, no? Reading at the expected level for their age. Ito yung pinaka-telltale sign niya. Remembering sequences and wanting to read aloud, no? So, merong mga ganun. Kasi nga hindi niya mabasa eh. So, aloud na lang. Ganon. Pakibasa na lang sa akin. Ayokong basahin, no? Because there is difficulty when it comes to reading. So here's an infographic I want to show you tungkol sa this is a summarized version of what a child with dyslexia experiences. So number one is difficulty spelling simple words. So obviously it's about cat, C-A-T, pero dun pa lang ay nahihirapan na siya. 3 letters lang to trouble reading aloud in class kasi hindi niya mabasa. So, better kung merong ibang babasa for him or her. Confusing letters with similar shapes. Di ba magkamukha naman talaga yung P, Q, B, and D. Pag binaliktad, parang pareho lang. Actually, sa mga preschoolers, ng mga nagsisimula pa lang magsulat, common ito, no, na problem. So, it's okay na sa simula talagang hindi naman nila magigets agad, no, na B pala yon, D pala yon. Try to observe yung mga mas nakababata sa inyo na kapatid or pinsan, pamangkin. Then, you'll see na sa preschool age common siya. Someone with dyslexia will have a difficulty between these two letters for a long time. Kasi usually kapag nag-grade school na, magre-resolve na yung confusion na to eh. Pero kung may dyslexia ang isang tao, kahit grade 3 na, hindi pa rin nawawala yung confusion. Another one is mixing up the position of sounds in a word. O, 'di ba? Instead of animal, ang pagkakasabi niya is aminal. So, kasi may mga type ng dyslexia na nagmi-mix up yung letters. Meron namang types ng dyslexia na you cannot associate the sound of the letter dun sa mismong letter. So, talagang very confusing siya and it's very difficult. So, another symptom naman, pagka sa middle school, so ito yung mga junior high, no? May mga umaabot ng junior high na hindi pa rin nadadiagnose. So, numerous spelling errors, spending a long time completing class work and homework kasi hindi naman niya maintindihan, di ba? Rereading sentences several times to understand words and the meaning of texts, and difficulty finding the right words when writing or speaking. Sometimes, no, um, yung mga may dyslexia talaga ay nahihirapan even with the copy and write na activity. I'll show you This is an example of a handwriting of someone with dyslexia. So the owl was a bird, 'di ba? Pero nung kokopyahin na lang to guys. Kokopyahin, hiwa-hiwalay or iba-iba pa rin no yung mga sequences ng letters. Kung mapapansin nyo dyan, nagkapalit yung E at H, yung owl naman tama, pero yung sa bird, so, and the saw, 'di ba? Bali-baliktad. So, real struggle, no? Sadly, some teenagers still move on, no, sa mga grade levels nila na hindi pa rin nada-diagnose. So, what are the most common symptoms? Medyo similar din naman, pero ito, they can also skip over words when reading out loud. So, nakakabasa naman, sige, pero sila mga nai-skip na words. They have trouble understanding punchlines of jokes kasi hindi na pa-process no? And they find it difficult to complete math problems. Alam naman natin na yung mga math problems, yung mga worded problems ng math, it takes a lot of comprehension for you to understand. Mamali ka lang ng by, ng with, ng mga ganun doon, you'll solve for a very different answer. So they may also be confused with left and right, and they may find it more difficult than usual to learn a foreign language. Well, learning a foreign language, ang sinasabi nila mas bata, i-introduce mo, mas madaling matutunan. Kaya lang, if you look at it from the POV na someone with dyslexia, yun yung first language kang hirap eh. 'Di ba? Ang hirap kong intindihin eh. So, introducing to me a whole new world of another foreign language ay mahirap. Lalo akong mahihirapan. Okay? So, this is an example. No? This is a picture. Sabi dito, someone with dyslexia may see print like this instead of whole letters and words, which explains to those without dyslexia why it proves difficult to comprehend when reading or writing. There's nothing wrong with the eyes, okay? Hindi ito yung meron kang mga blots na nakikita sa eyes mo. It's, again, a neurological condition. So, sa processing yun ng brain. May mga dyslexic na pagka nakita nila, ang sentences, ganito ang itsura. No? So, hindi siya buo. Let's go to the adults naman. Ano naman ang mga symptoms sa adults? Number one would be having to read a text over and over because it's difficult again to comprehend. Na difficulty understanding the main idea of a text. Kasi kung ang dyslexia mo, yung balibaliktad yung arrangements, talagang di mo maintindihan yung main idea of the text, no? Misreading instructions, which is very dangerous. Especially when you're dealing with safety, di ba? Yung mga electrical appliances, kapag you're dealing with road signs and everything or instructions on how to use this, use that, very difficult, no? Your inability to find the right words when forming sentences, being slow to answer questions, um, others would be frequent spelling errors in writing, 'di ba? Let me tell you why, no? Because someone with dyslexia, yung iba ganito ang nakikita. Okay, so how can you make sense out of this kaguluhan, 'di ba? You can figure out some words pero the others are very incomprehensible. Ito pa yung mga ibang difficulties ng adults. Inability to listen and write at the same time, poor organizational skills, so labo-labo, magulo, no? Poor memory, difficulty understanding several directions given at the same time. Hindi pwedeng navigator ang mga may dyslexia, no? Because it will be very difficult for them to find their way if they're going to write it. Mas okay sa kanila yung verbal kasi naririnig na lang nila. They don't have to look at something and read it. So, pagka dyslexia ang pinag-uusapan, very important to understand that it's more on the reading side. Okay? So, ang pinakamaganda pa rin kapagka sa dyslexia, the earlier, the better. The earlier na ma-identify na may dyslexia ang bata, the better. Why? Because imagine, no, kung meron kayong copy and write na activity and then you wrote a whole different thing. 'Di ba? And sometimes kung mamaya maaksidenteng mali talaga yung maisulat mo at kung ano yung meaning, iba pala yung meaning, well, it could be a point of bullying, 'di ba? Tapos eventually, they won't even try na because of low self-esteem. 'Di ba? Kaya mas maganda, bata pa lang, meron ng intervention para nang sa gayon, um, matugunan, no, kung paano yung the best way for that child to be helped, kung paano siya magbasa. Sadly, since it's a neurological disorder, we can only provide interventions for dyslexia. No, hindi siya nawawala. Okay? Pero you can get by. Yun ang good news doon. Kaya nga mas maganda, um, earlier diagnosis o ma-assess agad, 'di ba? Ang assessment niyan may mga test, no, that will evaluate your reading, your articulation, some of your language skills. Ito-test 'yon kung pasok ba dun sa age bracket, dun sa mga milestones ng age mo dapat when it comes to reading. Okay? Let's go to the next one. Let's go now to dysgraphia. So, it refers to having trouble converting their thoughts into writing or drawing. Kung ang dyslexia, what you have to remember is the difficulty in reading. Ang dysgraphia naman is writing. Okay? So, di ba pag when you're making graphs, definitely you have to write it down, ganun. So, yun yung clue nyo, dysgraphia. Poor handwriting is a hallmark of dysgraphia, but it is far from the only symptom. Sufferers struggle to translate their thoughts into writing, whether in spelling, grammar, vocabulary, critical thinking, or memory. So, ibig sabihin, hindi naman dahil mababa yung cognitive ability niya, no? It's just because, again, just like dyslexia, ang dysgraphia ay neurological disorder din. There are parts of the brain na nagko-control ng motor skills, fine motor skills na ginagamit natin sa pagsusulat, kaya naman, affected din yung output natin, no? Of course, children with dysgraphia struggles much, no, with neat writing. Di ba? Yung pa naman ang nire-require pag elementary, di ba? Sulat tayo ng sulat, ganyan. O hindi lahat ng pangit ng sulat ay may dysgraphia. Baka may naaalala kayo. This is an example, no? So, makikita natin dito yung spelling. Tama naman yung nasa isip nila, pero when they try to write it down, no, makikita natin na mali-mali yung spelling dito. Tapos, the spacing, makikita nyo dun sa ASK, malalaki yung spaces. So, parang magkaibang word tuloy, no? And then, bali-baliktad yung mga letters, ganyan. And then, the spelling, there's a difficulty there. Here is another example, no? Kung nababasa nyo man yan. So, hindi lang siya sa spelling, hindi lang siya sa spaces, pati na rin siya sa pagfa-follow ng line. So, kung makikita nyo dyan, it doesn't check yung, di ba, ano yun, red, blue, yung mga ganun yung sulatan natin nung bata tayo. But here, hindi siya nagfa-follow, no? It crosses yung mga 3 lines dyan, 2 line dyan, ganun. Mapapansin niyo yung mga batang may dysgraphia ay, aside from meron silang poor handwriting, they're also very slow, 'no, sa pagsusulat. Tapos talagang, they're trying their best, 'no, however, the output is really like that. Another example of a symptom would be the awkward yung grasp nila. Kumbaga hindi maganda yung grasp, yung paghawak nila sa pencil. And of course, because it's so tense, so hindi maganda yung positioning ng pencil, posibleng mapagod sila, i-avoid nila yung mga writing task. Difficulties with drawing, it goes along with the handwriting then. And just like the dyslexia, the neurological disorder, so yung ibang dysgraphia ay lifelong, no? However, there are also accommodations naman, like pwede sila mag-therapy kasi pwedeng i-train yung muscles, no? There are some assistive technologies na pwedeng gamitin sa pag-help, no, ng mga batang may dysgraphia. Kung familiar kayo, one example would be yung mga pencil holder, yung meron kang shushyotan ng thumb mo, may shushyotan ka nung pointer finger mo para maayos yung grip mo ng pencil. That's just a very simple example of an intervention. Next, we go to another learning disability called dyscalculia. It encompasses learning disabilities related to mathematical calculation. So, hindi porke mababa yung grade nyo sa mathematics in the modern world, ay naku, meron yata ako nito, ma'am. So, hindi naman, no? It's sometimes referred to as having math dyslexia. Individuals might have difficulty reading clocks to tell time, counting money, identifying patterns, remembering math facts, and solving mental math. So, all things associated with analytical processing, especially when it comes to mathematics, yung mga calculations, counting, ganyan, your inability to classify and measure, 'di ba? Yung mga ginagamit natin sa math, anything that is associated with numbers, yung mga symbols, ganyan. Recognizing symbols, it could also be a problem for dyscalculia. Kaya nga siya math dyslexia eh. And then, there are incorrect symbols na minsan nako-confuse sila with 9 and 6, no? With 3 and 8, medyo hawig eh. 'Di ba? Pero, one thing that you have to remember is that ang dyscalculia ay very much focus on numbers pagdating sa math. So, ganito yung itsura niya. It's either the one on top, so hindi talaga makakompute, no? Because it's a neurological processing disorder, so hindi siya maayos yung pag-process ng brain niya when it comes to numbers. So, tingnan natin yung second picture naman, trying to write the numbers, pero mali-mali yung sequence at saka yung itsura ng numbers, no? Ito naman, the other one at the bottom, hindi niya talaga masulat kung ano yung itsura ng number 3, number 5. Again, sa mga batang maliliit na nagsisimula pa lang mag-aral, normal yun yung mali yung harap ng 2, mali yung kung saan nakaharap yung 5. Ay, sorry. Pero yung if it persists, no, ay ah, yun na. It's a sign of having dyscalculia. Ayan pa yung isang picture sa huli. 2 plus 1 is 3, 7 plus 3 is 1 ba to? O, diba? So, that's an example. Dyscalculia, dysgraphia, and dyslexia, alam niyo kung ano ang pinakamagandang gawin sa lahat ng yon ay early detection. Early diagnosis pa rin talaga. The earlier you'll be able to assist, no, i-usher yung child into a better way of learning in a classroom environment or in a learning environment, ay pinakamainam. Okay? Meron pa. Let's go to the next, learning disability. So, auditory processing disorder causes an individual to be confused with the order of sounds or be unable to filter different sounds. The brain, itong nangyayari sa kanya, the brain misinterprets the information received and processed from the ear. So, someone with APD or auditory processing disorder may confuse other sounds, no, with different sounds. Parang yung voice ng teacher nyo, tas yung background noise. Halimbawa, may manok sa background ko, yun yung mas naririnig. Ganun siya. So, tignan natin yung mga symptoms, no? Number one is trouble figuring out where a sound is coming from. So, typically, pagka may sumabog sa right side natin, doon tayo lilingon, di ba? Pero someone with APD ay hindi ma-process yun. So, figure out pa niya kung saan nanggagaling. Being easily distracted by sounds because they are either not sensitive or hypersensitive. So, kapag hypersensitive sila sa sound, ang dali nilang ma-distract, no? May nahulog na papel, may bumukas na notebook, ganon. Difficulty following verbal directions, mainly because yung nare-receive ng brain nila na information ay hindi tugma doon sa pinaprocess ng ears. Difficulty understanding speech when there's a lot of background noise, and trouble listening for an extended period of time. So, ganun siya. Meron din sometimes, no, someone with APD could experience memory issues kasi nga hindi naman yun yung tama na naaalala niya, tamang naririnig niya. Learning languages will be very difficult because hindi nga align yung naririnig tsaka yung napaproseso ng brain, no? That's why that person has a problem with concentration. Sa kanya kasi, it doesn't make sense. Ano yung sinasabi nito? Ba't puro noise lang yung nakikita ko? Ganon. So, what will keep the concentration kung it doesn't make sense naman yung mga naririnig niya? Or sometimes, someone with APD ay may difficulty hearing in loud places. Parang kailangan ng subtitle, ganun siya. So, minsan akala nung ibang teacher hindi nakikinig yung bata, 'di ba? Naglalaro na bigla or nakatingin sa iba, yun pala iba yung processing nung naririnig niya. Or either naririnig niya lahat ng nangyayari sa paligid, gano'n, or nako-confuse siya kung kanino ba nanggagaling yung voice na yun. Kaya, kailangan na observe siyang mabuti. 'Di ba kasi it's easy to label somebody na, "Ay walang attention, oh, ang ikli ng attention span." Pero yun pala, there is already a problem when it comes to, processing yung mga naririnig 'no. So, sabi ng mga professionals, usually yung mga test for APD ay ginagawa 'pag mga 7 onwards na. Kasi yun na yung nakaka-sit still naman na talaga yung mga bata, 'di ba? Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 ganyan. Nakakaupo na sila na pero kung nagpe-persist yung ganong, behavior like not listening or parang, troubled siya lagi when it comes to the different sounds na naririnig, mga ganyan. There's a problem hearing and processing what is being heard. So ayun na, 'pag nag-persist yun, then it's a time 'no, it's a red flag already. Next, we have the nonverbal learning disability. So, it refers to difficulties in decoding nonverbal behaviors or social cues. So, parang pag sinabi kasing nonverbal, ay baka nahihirapang magsalita ito. Pero don't get confused, no? Nonverbal learning disability talks about yung mga hindi natin sinasabi, pero it shows in our behavior. So, yung mga tao na may NVLD, they struggle with understanding body language, facial expressions, yung mga malungkot ka na dun sa, malungkot na lahat, pero hindi na nagigets. The tone of voice, kapag ka mataas na yung voice, mataas na yung tono, pero parang hindi niya naiintindihan na galit na. Ganon. Or the non-verbal aspects of communication. So, marami 'no, may mga different kinds of nonverbal learning disability. Minsan yung spatial as in SPATIAL, spatial awareness nung tao, yung judging 'no, yung distance niya tsaka yung furniture halimbawa akala niya malapit lang gano'n. Sometimes, sa mga visuals, pagbabasa ng mga maps, gano'n, it could also be a problem. And yung social cues 'no, yung mga meron tayong mga social cues, eh, 'pag alam mo hindi ka na gustong kausap, mga gano'n. Kapagka alam mo naiinis na, pagka-sarcastic na sa'yo, sometimes someone with NVLD will have a difficulty 'no, arranging, or interpreting all of this, facial expressions and body language. Naalala niyo when I asked you to do the puzzle and I told you that some people have difficulty 'no, pagdating sa pag-aayos ng mga gano'n, 'pag, mag-o-organize ng mga puzzles and that and such. I'm referring to children or people with NVLD kasi wala silang, navigation, meron silang difficulty with visuals, gano'n sila, organization wala din, okay.